Hello, ladies and jelly beans of YouTube. You are buckled in for a traditional Kaladesh Remastered draft with Travis Semulin Sours. If you'd like to watch the drafting live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. And we're going to start out with a Lifecrafter's Bestiary, unless I am sorely mistaken at this pack. There's some good cards here, but the Bestiary is card drawing green. You don't usually get that. You get Scry every turn, and then every creature you play draws a card. So it's not just some card draw, it's a lot of card draw. Other notable cards here that I would be relatively happy first picking are the Daring Demolition, the Servant of the Conduit, and to a lesser extent the Outland Boar. I've had some good red-green decks. I doubt we're wheeling anything particularly interesting here because the power level of this pack drops off pretty quickly. But if we can just kind of hug green for a little bit, I think we're going to be pretty happy with that. So if we see good cards in the next pack and some of them happen to be green, I'll probably push towards that. And then I got past a Whirler Virtuoso. Gearsmith is probably the third card I would be interested in here. If I can position myself in green-blue or green-red, it's relatively easy to splash a Virtuoso, and a Virtuoso is worth splashing for. I still need to be heavy green base to play the Bestiary, but it's also possible green's not open and I can't play the Bestiary. Like, I think the power level of these two cards is so much higher than the Thriving Rhino that I'm going to take the Virtuoso. And I'm picking it because it's a little easier to get into this color combination, Teamer colors, and actually have excess energy to use with it. Here I think I do want to default to the Rhino. Fabrication Module is an interesting one. You can start putting a lot of counters on your dudes. This is not a bad card, and it's even interesting that we could improvise it here. But I do think I want to start picking up the Rhinos. They can get out of control on their own. And I don't want to send green signals if I can avoid it. And I don't really care what my other color is. It can be blue for flyers or red for attackers and removal. I'm fine with either of those. I just want to make sure if we can, we stick to green. Ooh. This is a tough pack to stick to green. Because Aether Theorist is quite nice, Thriving Turtle is quite nice, but this sets up exactly what we want to do, which is play a green energy deck and splash a Virtuoso. From what I'm seeing, it looks like we're going to get into blue. Yeah, there's an Aether Swooper. Well, there's also an Aether Chaser, but the Aether Swooper is just better. It's better to swoop than chase. I really hope we can catch a good green card here, because like there's some possibility that I should just be, well, okay, never mind. There's Welding Sparks, Hunt the Weak, and a Druid of the Cowl. These are all premium cards. So we're definitely going to be able to do teamer stuff. I'd still like to be base green so we can make that Bestiary work. I lost to a Demolition Stomper yesterday. It's pretty bad, but they had this vehicle chain of like something crew to Skyskiff, which crew to Mr. Garrison. I'm going to take the removal spell. We're just going to buckle in on green. Because I still think we're potentially green-blue, but if they keep passing too many... Like, there's a lot of red cards here. None of them are particularly amazing. But as long as I'm buckled in on green, we're going to have absurd card draw. Okay. So probably green-red, then. Not green-white. No, thank you. The Scribblin's not bad. Oh, yeah. It crewed the Cornucopia. I don't think we're going to be straight 3-color, so I wish I had the 2/1 First Striker instead of the Swooper, but I'll find a way to be okay with that decision. I haven't really drafted too many white decks in Kaladesh yet. I think I've played all of the other colors, but I haven't... we've like had one with a couple rocks or something. Yeah, so I have played all the colors, but it takes a little bit to get me into white. Like a bunch of late pacifisms. Ruinous Gremlin is not an all-star, but it's a fine card to put in your deck. It can crew some vehicles, and generally speaking, there's going to be artifacts to blow up. Yeah, fair. I do put Bastion Mastodon in every deck that I draft. The stat line's just good. 5 mana for a 4/5 in this format's pretty dang good. I know I'm remembering it a bit overly fondly, and it's because I played so much Kaladesh Sealed. And it was a really good card to have in Sealed because you were going to be stretching and playing 3 colors anyway, so just having a nice, easy-to-cast 4/5 that you could always fit in was pretty handy. I don't want to currently play an Unbridled Growth or a Reservoir Walker, but I think we probably take this for signaling purposes. Just to cut green. I didn't think we were wheeling anything out of this pack, but Pyrohelix isn't the worst. Neither is Malphus Squad, so I'm not quite sure what that's doing, but I think this is firmly putting us in green-red, which is awkward because 2 people... well... okay. Let's talk. Let's talk. This guy's not even terrible. The thing to look at with this pile is that we don't really have a reason to be playing green. So I think it makes sense to pick up a good card like a Built to Smash here and leave ourselves open to maybe just getting into blue-red. No? And this pack kind of stinks, especially compared to the last one. Five mana, 8/8 with Trample. Is that even good? For those watching on YouTube, this was, well, generally all of the Gear Hulks were very good in this set. This one suffered a little bit, and that there's an uncommon that mostly does the same thing. And most people agreed that the red one and the white one were the worst, but they were still quite good. I guess we're looking at Blossoming Defense of Unhappiness. Maybe the Aether Theorist. It should probably be the Aether Theorist, because I think where we're going, I'd still like to be green-blue, maybe splashing for like these 2 cards, which with one more attuned with Aether, I could do pretty easily. Because I'm pretty happy with leaving the dust, too. It's pretty rare to see Gear Hulks go by, because that would mean someone is passing them. And most people don't do that. Rude Negotiation could be good if you were making enough tokens, which we're not currently. We've only got the Swooper that's doing that. Because the other option is to take the Revolution and look at green-red again. But I think it's time for us to commit that we're probably a blue deck. I'm going to leave this here so I remember to really prioritize the servo makers. Pack one, pick one from this was Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Okay, I'm not going to say no to a serpent. We've got 3, 4 artifacts so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the best thing for us to get now is more Aether Swoopers. It could be, but it's not in the deck yet. With like 3 Aether Swoopers, it's very good. With 1 Aether Swooper, it's not great. The other thing that plays nicely with it are the 1/2 druids that put a counter on something. You just need to remember to put the counter on something else. Yenne's expertise was quite good. But we can just take a turtle. We've got the early game covered now. This Renegade map will make it a little bit easier for us to cast the Serpent under some circumstances and splash the Sparks and the Virtuoso. So this is coming together. I wouldn't say it's busted, but it's coming together. How do you get 8 Aether Swoopers? Alright, I'll take another Gear Seeker. We've got us a plan here. So this was a 1/3 flyer that could sometimes draw you an artifact. It doesn't often, but it can. Isn't the Crane good? Think about what it could do in this deck. It doesn't really have many hits. I'm still probably going to play it, but I'd rather have an Aether Swooper. The way this is going, we could end up playing a Hinterland Drake. Yeah, we have 3. Like, it could hit. It probably won't. None of these are any good. I'll just take a select for inspection. Black was more open this way, as you can tell. But I think we're still pretty happy. I need to find a few artifacts, and I think our mana's actually just fine. Well, this is real good. This is real good, and this is real good. So I got to decide, do I want 2 Whirler Virtuosos, or do I want a Chief of the Foundry? We can either consistently draw the Whirler Virtuoso, or I can make sure that if I ever draw these 2 together, it's kind of absurd. Our removal's okay. We've got a Welding Sparks and a Hunt the Weak. I don't need to take another... I wouldn't take another Welding Sparks. No, I don't think the red mana is going to be that fault. I think it's the Virtuoso. We've already got 2 fixers, and I can pick up 1 more potentially. The final decision for me was the Bestiary. I think I can use this to draw some cards and kind of get where I need to get. It doesn't combo with these coming into play, but it should give us enough card draw that I can find things, so cheaper cards are good. These cards really aren't. But I can play a Ballista Charger. It's not the worst thing ever. Unbridled Growth is an enabler for Revolt. So not really something we're looking for in this deck. So I'm thinking there's a chance that I should take this Prophetic Prism. But what if we took the Whirler Maker? We're already interested in having artifacts, and it gives us a mana sink. I can make so many Thopters. I probably shouldn't do that, but I want to have a good time. And that card is a good time. There's the Seed Sculptor I was talking about. There's also a Fabrication module. Fabrication module can be very interesting. Oh, I kind of want it. I kind of want it. All right, we're going to do something a little goofy. So YouTube, don't try this at home. But I'm going to see if we can build a fun deck rather than a good deck. I'm trying to decide if I can get value off of a Shrewd Negotiation here. Because if I think I can, I should take the Seed Sculptor. And I think I can. I think this is probably the deck. And we're good with it. I should have artifact removal in the sideboard. Like, I should have it in the main deck, but this is good enough. Mr. Garrison, but a malfunction would take us a long way too. And I think we can play 16 lands and be pretty happy. That's a very late Welding Sparks. I don't think I want the Lifecraft Cavalry. I'm not going to try to fit Unbridled Growth in here. I'll take another Welding Sparks. Maybe we need that to beat a particular deck or something. None of the rest of this matters. I can't tell what color was actually open here. I don't think I quite have room for Sparks number 2. Oh yeah, I forgot it doesn't work with that. I have to give them an artifact. So well, okay. Done. We'll just play the other Welding Sparks. I can do that. We can donate Thopter token. But that looks like a more higher variance card, which I may not need. Only playing 13 creatures, that's a little awkward with the Bestiary. Yeah, I drafted a bit of a mess here, but it's a mess reminiscent of some fun times I had in Kaladesh. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Shrewd Negotiation. But it's still a card I dig. That is not a mana base I'm interested in playing. Let's build our own. I think we're going to go 16 lands. I need at least 8 green. I'd like 2 red. And that would leave me room for 6 blue, which should be fine. I never need double blue except for the Serpents, and I'll have it by then. Right, because we've got these to fix us for any color. It is a little awkward that it's going to be tough to cast the turtle on turn 1. That's a little uncomfortable. Yeah, so much of my early is blue. I think I'm just going to run like this and really lean on this map. Hey, what's up, Possums? This is Kaladesh. It's okay to play 3 colors, especially if they're teamer. This looks like fun. Let's give this a go. I'm not going to fire off the Stream Raiders battle until we get to size board because we are up against the boss. I want to make sure we kill Cthulhu. Yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, I've done something like 6 Kaladesh drafts. We've had 1 3-0, and all of the rest of them have been 2-1s. Okay. Little land heavy, but I do like an Aether Swooper. We got a 2-drop and a 6-drop. Whoa, hang on a minute now. Rares? I don't much care for rares. I have no idea why they didn't want to make this trade too and get a 3/3 out of it. Because I can't trade this with 2 serpents in hand. He was basically unkillable, right? It's a goblin chariot that grows over time and cannot be destructed. Oh yeah, well I got a thriving turtle. What are you gonna do about that? I guess we hope they play no removal? Well, that was fun. Huh. That hand was a little slow for what they were up to. Good grief. Like, this thing's absurd. I'm just not going to beat it with that. So we definitely need to have at least one answer to that train. This gives us 2 between Creeping Mold and Malfunction. So I think we've got that going for us. 1 damage to any target could be relevant. But I've got to cut something here, and I don't think I want to be playing Whirlmaker against somebody playing that Wasp. It's just asking to get blown out. Because that Wasp is pretty dangerous. Okay. Okay, so my slow value plan is not really looking so great right now. I am in pretty rough shape right this second. But I sure am good at drawing lands. I knew Renegade Map was a good card. I've never been killed by one. We're drawing a bunch of cards, so we're going to draw a bunch of lands. I think I'm going to have to keep chomping this thing. I don't really want to. But I've got spells that can handle this. I just need to find them. And we put some that aren't that on the bottom already. Just don't kill my dude, please. Okay, that draws a card. Which is a land. Because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, I can give you all the lands. Don't you worry. I got so many of them. I wanted to show YouTube some cool stuff with the Virtuoso, but I can't. I got too cute. Sorry, turtle. There. Am I stable now? I imagine they don't play any removal in their deck, so... Gotta be a subtle strike. Right? Like, it just has to be. That's the worst case scenario. They had to have had Subtle Strike and that, though. Oh, it's so brutal. There's a possibility we catch up from here. I wouldn't say it's a strong possibility, but there's a possibility. I'm drawing too many cards. They need to kill me fast. I'm gonna shuffle those other lands back in. You're not drawing any more cards. I'm the one who gets to draw all the cards, not you. I mean, we're stable unless there's a daring demolition. That Whirlmaker's a problem. The Whirlmaker's not a problem. I can't kill this or they get it back. So I'm just going to block it here forever. And then slowly kill them with this Gearseeker Serpent is my current plan. Good grief. You've got to stop. Those cards are better than mine. This one's pretty good, though. I don't get to draw a card, but I think I'll be okay with it. I actually don't want counters on this. Oh, it's too late. I'll just take the hit for one. It's not a bad card to have. is starting to turn around in our favor. Yeah, we're at 10 cards, so we're probably fine. This should be lethal, right? They could have the bounce target tapped creature, but that's about it. Nobody plays select for inspection. Yeah, we've got lethal off of that turn, which was kind of the plan. That was terrifying. Their deck is way better than mine. But when I get to draw 10 more cards than them, we can compete. I have to bring the Whirlamaker back in to beat their Whirlamaker. All right. Do what we got to do. It's better in their deck than it is mine. Okay. I'm doing good, D-Tron. How you doing? We're doing this again? That's a card you could play. I can't beat a Subtle Strike here. We'll get a little bit of Truth Serum if they attack with the implement and not this. That's a 7/7, and we've got 2, 4, 6. The Subtle Strike just destroys me here. If I can land this Ballista Charger, I think we can get to safety. They could also have the -4, -0 again. But I'm about to take a hit for a bazillion from this. and then cross my fingers that we can block it with this guy. The subtle strike still gets me there. Alright, well if our plan is for us to be... No, because I'm trading this guy off. I can't... Been shuffled back in anyway. I think I have to still be on this plan. We again should get a truth detector, but if their last card is Subtle Strike, I don't think I can beat them. If it's not, I think we can sort of try to catch up. Terrifying. Yeah, leave will deal with the implement. Then we've just got to deal with the 2/3 flyer. If they're actually on nothing, but I've been scared of a Subtle Strike the whole game. If they have one, kind of sucks to be us. Yenny's not helpful here either. This is us going to 1. I don't see this ending well. But I guess the good news is we don't have to stress about the Subtle Strike, because if they have it, I'm just dead. Okay. Oh, that kills me too. My goodness. That was intense, yo. Was that our first match with that deck? Man, I love these games. They can get so grindy, and even when you're under a ton of pressure, you feel like you've still got outs. This is a good format. I feel like I got my gameplay's worth out of that. It's fun to be drafting Kaladesh again. And again, I built a little bit of a silly deck, but I'm not unhappy with that decision. All right, we've got Golden Beard with the kills, Urberk with the assists, a boss chest for ye all, lots of scrolls for Maori, Falco, and Atomaniac. And we have killed Cthulhu. Go us. We did it, Reddit. Remember on these, if you position on the outsides, we do better than if you position on the insides, but it's a 1 skull. It doesn't matter that much. All right, let's see if we can get a 2-1 out of this. Yeah, we're still doing the YouTube draft, so we're going to be continuing to do that until this draft is finished. It's going to be a long one. So feel free to say hello to YouTube if you like. This hand has a plan. It's to hope Ballista Charger's real good. And that we can find a way to crew it. Good afternoon, Ben Geek. My guess is they've got some Convoke cards in there. I'm feeling a little better than I was yesterday. I think that's because I woke up and just took some Advil. Because I can kind of feel it starting to wear off. Yeah. We can. Kind of want a bigger turtle. I don't know that I necessarily want to do that against blue, but there's some possibility that they bounce it. But a 2/5 does feel real good, so I get a 2/5 and 1 scry. I could be pretty happy with that. Oh, you probably mean Unearthed Express. What did you incorrectly pick over it? But yeah, that is an indicator that some people may be newer to this, because Unearthed Express is real good. Okay, okay, okay. I can respect the Aetherstorm Rock. Aviary Mechanic has Conviction. It's a really good Revolt Enabler. And they can return it to their hand, except now they can't, because it's in the graveyard. Which I think we're pretty happy with. It did. I mean, they've got Revolt going here. It's just that this can be a problem over time. Yeah, I don't mind a Rhino. The best kind of scry. And what you want is already there for you. What does this do? Whenever you get energy, put a counter on a creature. That's pretty good. If this is a 7/7, well, there's situations where it could trade for both. But I don't think I really need it to right now. Hey, what's up, Bryce? I'm not feeling 100% no. I took some Advil this morning, and that was making me feel pretty decent, but now I'm like... That's a lot of self-assembling they've got going on. And this is a lot of power and toughness for not much mana. If I could make this 10 power and swing with it this turn, it still is not trading for all of these. And they're going to get stuff back. I may just actually need to set this turn. But this is so many counters, right? Yeah, I guess we just make all of our creatures reasonable here. They're not going to get me with conviction. Yeah, we got stuff to do while we're chilling. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking if we want to try to get value off of the welding sparks. Perfect. I'm going to see if we can get a good combat out of this. If they block it with a bunch of crap, I can't. But if they block it with one thing, I can. Well, you know what I mean. Right, that's about what we expected, and we'll take it. We'll take it. Because I can spark one of them, but there's not really a way for me to get around this, so you got me. I know how we're going to kill them, and it's in the air. It's not on the ground. We do need to be a little bit worried about a team pump. stupid enough. Thank you, Bryce. Okay. Okay. You're recurring all your stuff and can't stop an Air Force. Or presumably that. Serpent should win it from here. Unless they draw a theme pump before I can get that done. They've got some good combos, but the Serpent also has a good combo, which is it'll kill you in a couple turns. What you up to over there? Nothing wrong with hot butter either. They must have something good to be playing this. Okay. So we're both going to put counters on our stuff? I need this to be lethal next turn too, just in case they top deck and arrest. We could still put a counter on it with the fabrication module and kill them with that if we need to. Looks like they just can't handle flyers. I kind of want to bring in another flyer just to kill them with. I probably don't need the Whirlmaker here. I can draw a card off of the Bestiary with the Drake. Can't block any of their crap, but... Well, we said at 600 subs, we unlock a new emote, so we would bring back potentially Sim By with a sensor bar. The next milestone is 800, which is the buzz cut. That's like 2 milestones, dude. I haven't had a haircut in 3 years. No, no, then you just leave me with half a shaved head. We're not doing that. I don't actually like drinking that much anymore. It's just not my jam these days. I quit smoking a long time ago. It's been at least 5 years. Oh, I don't like, marijuana doesn't do it for me. That's not my jam. Like, you just rolled it up and smoked it? Interesting, Tim. Like, I'll still drink on occasion. I don't drink that much anymore. This is kind of how I imagine this deck playing out. It is hard, Bob, but it's worth it. As if a 4-mana 5/6 wasn't enough, let's draw a card too. Yeah, nothing wrong with anybody that does like it. It's just not my jam. Take that back, please. And thank you. Draw a card while we're at it. Hang in there, Bob. Yeah, that draw was way better than the one we had before. My goodness. Can we just do that every time?
Got it! Sam Champ.
Thank you, Chrono. Alright, I think we got a Stream Raiders battle, and as is tradition with YouTube drafts, I gotta go potty. So I'm gonna fire this one up. Chat will keep you entertained. I'll be right back. We'll see if we won, and then try to go for the 2-1. I'll be right back, YouTube. We won! Huzzah! David with the kills and the assists. Thank you for the carry. Scrolls for Fort, Thangarth, and McDonald. You did a math joke? Nice. Bark, bark. Alright, let's get back and see if we can manage a 2-1 out of this, because I believe that it is possible. You're telling me the YouTube joke. YouTube, knock knock. Who's there? It's got potential. Tim, thank you for the resub, bud. Y'all spam some cats for Tim. Thank you very much, my friend. I am going to have to deal with this at some point, but I'm suspecting we could just trade the Rhino for it. Like, this is a very good card. Well, if you're going to draw a card, you draw the card first. Let's see what we get. We may not get a card, but we might. That one's okay. Do they want to trade this for their Renegade? Because I'd be pretty happy if they do. I'd be less happy if they have a Subtle Strike to go with it, but we can recover. Like, kind of okay with that, because it means they're not using it on the Gifted Aetherborn. I need all of these to be big enough, right? And this is actually my kill condition. So this is a 4/4. This is a 3. Yeah, we can make trades now. And this is what I'm going to try to win the game with, which is interesting, but not unreasonable. Hunt the Weak is what I'm a little afraid of right now. Of the bad things that could have happened, that isn't the worst. It's going to have 4... This is just 2 for wanting themselves to get rid of my Rhino? I don't understand. Why is this bad for me? I don't think it is. Okay, it wasn't. Yeah, that seems really good for us. They've got some really good cards in here. It's kind of terrifying. But as it turns out, the Gear Hulk is pretty good too. Once again, I probably shouldn't be dirtling around with this Whirlamaker, even though it is quite fun. But you know what? I want to. The last time I get to play with this deck, let's have a good time while we're here. This could develop nicely. We may be able to kill him with that. We draw a Malfunction. I don't know that I'd necessarily say that it's good. It's a playable card. It's not a bad one. No, this is an incredibly fat... This is turn 4 and they're attacking me with a 3/3 and a 3/4. This is not a slow set. Someone was out there telling people this was a slow set. And I don't know why they're lying to people or just fundamentally don't understand Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. This is a fast set. This is a very fast set. Dang it, they're going to kill me if I hunt the weak here. I'm going to have to settle for a giant creature next turn and just trade these off. Apparently somebody did a set review and said that it looked slow and grindy. It is not slow and grindy. Don't remember Dund Operative being very good. No! All of the decks can be very fast. All of the decks can be very fast. Okay, so fine, I can't play with the Whirlmaker. I'll be a grown-up. It's not necessarily a slow or fast. I don't think slow or fast really has anything to do with it, if we're going to be fair. This is a powerful format. But it feels a lot like playing Kaladesh and Aether Revolt back in the day. Which I enjoyed, so overall I'm happy to be playing it again. Carson, thank you for the resub. Y'all spam some cats for Carson. Much appreciated. I hope things are well in your world. Not you. You. I don't like this card. I don't like it at all. Also not a huge fan of nothing to do, but it's going to be okay. Any land unlocks a lot of stuff in this hand. Don't hunt the weak, my druid. Don't you do it. You stop. Now we need 2 lands, and I like that a lot less. Okay. That's old school. But I hear you. Well, I think we found our first 1-2. This is pretty good. Yeah, I don't think a Thriving Rhino is going to get us out of this one. That's unfortunate, having the removal spell for the Druid and the Forest. Because I think if we could have landed the Ballista Charger, it could have done some work for us here. Namely, trading off for this. But that's going to do it there. If you'd like to see me get 2-1s consistently with the occasional 3-0, you can do that on the live stream at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. We'll be back with more drafts on YouTube probably tomorrow.